Hey everyone, welcome to COPICafe. This is episode 30. Wow, crazy, hard to believe. Whoa, interesting sign language there from Rob. You got Rob, Greg here, Josh Jones. We're excited to just keep you guys in the. Oh, hey, who's that?
Well, you got your own hat. Oh no, you don't.
You
You
look
got part.
suspicious wearing that hat. I like it. You look a little bit clandestine or something. It's different. I don't know that it comes off right for you.
You look suspicious. Yours says Park City, shouldn't it say Jones?
You're just coming back and saying what you can't just copy what I'm saying.
The one, the one time I
I
have
always wear a hat. You
my own
you just
hat
threw that on. Uh, what is that hat about? Why is that coming on right now?
because they'd sold out of Greg hats, so I wanted like a Jones hat, like you've got a Jones hat. So they only had an R.
Gotcha. All right, well done. Welcome to the hat wearing club, I guess.
It's a bit small. I think it's
We
for
got
like.
some fun guests joining us today from the Chainport crew, so that's coming up. That's exciting. We got some exciting stuff in this episode. We've got a fun leak as well for later in the show that is related to Christmas. It's related to trees. It's related to uh, vehicles. So guess away while you will. Hang in there for the remainder of the episode. A lot of fun stuff.
It's going to be a short episode. A lot of people have said, "Can we cut them down?" So I mean, we could cut it down to, "Hello, Bridge is live. Here's a leak. Goodbye."
Yeah, this has been great. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good rest of your day. No, I do agree. Let's keep it short and sweet, simple, and so we're gonna take that feedback and not have Rob and I ranting too much. Try to keep it action packed and condensed with good information for you as best we can. We've got the Derp. So, any of you interested in staking our NFTs for extra value? There's the Derp platform. We announced that partnership, I believe, last week. That is going to be ready to go by the end of this is good. So, are you going to grow a beard by the end of the episode or what?
Oh my god, I need a few years for that.
Yeah. See if you can get a beard whipped up by the end of the episode. I actually hate that I have to wear these things because seriously, when I'm in back-to-back meetings, this gets really annoying after a while. And I believe this new mic might have solved that problem for me, but I haven't been able to test it yet. I haven't had time. Anyway,
The-
nice
These are
headphones.
noise cancellations, so I hadn't heard a word that you just said, but
Well, that's
well,
good because I was talking about you.
it's a bit hot.
So I think you're gonna have to rewatch and figure out what I said about you and decide whether or not you want it cut from the episode. What are you trying to remind me to ask about your drink? No,
No,
I'm not
no,
asking
no, no.
about. I'm not even curious.
I'm just trying to keep the episode short.
Oh yeah.
Let's
All
try to get
right,
out
fine.
more.
Rob, what are you drinking?
So today, if you like this one,
Green tea. Yeah,
green
those
tea,
are good. They
the
have
theme
those in
of
the
the show
UK.
with ginseng. Well, yeah, I'm still in the UK. Look at that with the tree.
Interesting tree. What kind of tree is that?
Green tea with ginseng and honey tree.
Oh wow, I didn't know they had trees called that. That's awesome.
I'd call it a Greg tree.
A Greg tree.
It's pretty good when you have trees named after you.
It is. I would completely, wholeheartedly agree with that statement. All right. So yes, for anybody interested in what I'm drinking is water. It's kind of boring today. For anybody interested in the Derp deal, is the it should be you should be able to stake your vehicle NFTs this week, I believe, and they'll be tweeting that out. We'll definitely retweet it so you guys are in the loop. And yeah, cheers, Rob. Really making a display of that drink. Are you like a? Did you just get paid by is this product advertising here?
The can's
Goodness
huge.
gracious!
Arizona.
Overacting. What?
Arizona.
Yeah. I don't know why that was important at all. I'm really confused. Okay, website. We're rebuilding our website. Much needed. I think I've mentioned that before. Rob doesn't like his tea. We've got a React dev that's going to be starting later this month, and that's going to tie into our overarching tech, a lot of the stuff that we're doing. Rob, do you want to just get present with this episode, or you want to enjoy your tea for another?
Yeah. I'll watch it back. I'll get present.
Okay, good. So overarching tech is going to be, the gamification of education, the NFT marketplace, the website. It's going to tie into the desktop launcher. A lot of the stuff we had to just really get to the nuts and bolts of how are we building this foundationally so that users don't have to go log in 5 different places and manage a ton of accounts, and just making sure that it's all secure and all the laying the proper foundation. We've made a lot of progress in that this last week, and so that's exciting because really cool stuff coming for you guys soon. I would say the website's probably 2 to 3 months out, but this the new gamification of education is really coming along well. So I can't wait to show some of that, and just fun stuff there. So
well, I've had another look this week at the desktop launcher, and I've added so much more functionality to it now.
Yes, I love that, and I think we're going to need to do a full walkthrough of that very, very soon once we get solidified on all of that. So present that to the founders. I took a brief glance at it this morning. I thought it was great. I'd show it right now if I could, but we have to sign off on a lot of that stuff first. But yeah, I think you did good work there in planning the launcher side of things. Jeff has been doing some really solid work with Kyle and with our team, Ukraine team, on just planning out that dashboard and what all's happening there and what tech they're going to be using and laying that foundation. So I think those two things coming together really well alongside everything that we're bringing with the game is going to be it's going to give us an action-packed 2023. So exciting stuff ahead. Anyway. All right. Well, some of you guys have been waiting for our special guest that we mentioned. Chainport is here. We have Erez and Atan. So I'm going to go ahead and get them up on stage here with us. Hey, guys.
Hello there.
How's it going?
Hey, guys. Hey, what's up?
Oh, we're good.
Well, do you guys have a drink? What are you drinking, Erez?
Okay, so I had some running nose this morning, so I'm not into alcohol. So just Earl Grey tea.
All right. Hey.
Earl Grey. And water on the other hand. So
all right, Atan, what about you?
I'm just having some sparkling water.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So you're not feeling well. Thanks for being with us, even though you're not feeling so well.
No, I'm feeling perfect.
Rob, out of curiosity, do you approve of Earl Grey tea, or is that just wrong to you?
I do.
They're really big into tea in the UK, so
it's a personal choice. It's not my choice.
I also have English breakfast tea sometimes.
Yeah, that's the more common one. That's why I have when I'm in America.
But it's a total difference between Earl Grey and English breakfast sometimes.
There is a huge difference. One of them you kind of have milk with it. The other one is, I have no idea, some strange posh taste.
That's the difference. I would never have a tea with the milk.
I will say this: since we left the UK, we went to Manchester a couple of months back, and my wife was able to go as well. We had the whole, not the whole team together, a good chunk of the team, and we did make it a point to have English tea back here at home. So we did like the way you guys do it over there. Anyway, okay, so this isn't all about drinks. You guys are here representing Chainport. Erez is the CEO, and Atan CTO. Or what's your role?
Yes.
Okay.
And we are both co-founders.
Okay, co-founders. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you for joining
us. Good friends for like almost 20 years.
Well, that's important too. Yeah. That's important too. Yeah. One of the co-founders I've been good friends with of Cornucopias for around that length of time, and then Rob and Ant, the other two co-founders, I think Ant was best man in Rob's wedding or something.
Yeah. We met when we were 12, so 37 years ago, 38 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. We have a other problem. Our wives are even better friends than us.
So even when it does sound like a slight problem.
Yeah, even when we fight, we still need to meet each other in the weekend.
Oh gosh, makes things interesting.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about Chainport. What do you guys do?
Okay, so first of all, just to know, like Chainport is part of Decentralab, or you can check out decentralab.com. This is us. So we are a hub of projects and companies. We started almost 6 years ago in 2017 as a project named Tuki, and since then we built a few projects. Tuki, then Horde, the Tokens Farm, Chainport. We have 2 more in the pipeline. Chainport is the biggest project we have. It's a bridge. Right now, it's the 4th biggest bridge in the space by TVL from the generalized bridges. Generalized bridges meaning like bridges that are agnostic to chains or to tokens, not like WBTC, which is only Bitcoin to Ethereum. That's it. And growing. What makes us different as a bridge from other bridges is that we are, I would say, we're taking security very seriously and very different from many other bridges. We are operating in such a way that we are storing 90 to 98% of the tokens, of the native tokens that people porting to other chains on cold vaults we use for this. Fireblocks multi-party computation, the biggest MPC solution in the world, and Gnosis Safe, the most common multi-sig wallet, which makes us most probably the most secure bridge. This is a decision we took more than a year ago, and it proved to be a very right decision after almost all the bridges in space got hacked. We understood that this technology is just too early, and we didn't want to take the risk. And for now, all the users are happy.
Can you just explain a little bit more for our viewers then, cold storage? And what makes that such a different to what other bridges do?
So first of all, cold storage, the 2 major and most important things make the difference is that it's a multi-sig. It's not like a single wallet to open it. You can set it up to have 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, 20 out of 50 different wallets to open a smart contract which represent the wallet. And the second thing is that it's all based on cold wallets. Meaning it's not MetaMask on-chain or some application on your phone that can be hacked easily. This is all working with ledgers or treasures or other cold wallets. Or in Fireblocks case, is with their native app, which is top in the space of multi-party computation.
But to get the coins out of cold storage on chain requires manpower, so it's manual. So that's an extra step of security. It's not automated. It can't be hacked and then pulled.
No,
it needs that manual intervention.
Totally manual. We are getting notification every time there is a certain threshold going below some number that we set.
So do you keep a daily average, or is it like a running 2-month average that allows you to well, volume's really increasing, we need to adjust this amount?
So the funny thing is that usually when people are porting outside from Ethereum or outside from a specific chain to another chain, usually they don't come back because they want to be on the other chain. So it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, yeah, we are getting a notification. It can happen from 2 reasons. One, because the numbers of tokens just went too low on the contract, or because some whale wanted to port back a big amount that we don't have enough on the contract. So in one of those 2 cases, yeah, we'll need to manually approve it and send the tokens. It's not a difficult process, but it's manual and it involves a few people.
So at the other end, like you say, is it a Trezor or a ledger? Which ones do you deal with? How many do you have? Where do you store? Obviously, the security question, so you don't have to go too in depth.
I don't know. Let's not go into too much into this, but we like ledgers a lot. We're using it for a very long time, and we have many security steps. We are exposing some of them in our security page. You can go check out chainport.io/security. We are explaining the security in depth, but not everything. Like we keep the important things secret. Yeah.
But we often get asked, should I go for a Trezor? Should I go for a ledger? So are they both the same functionality? Is one better than the other, or is what would you recommend? Just for personal use.
One is a French company, and one is a US company. They are both really good, both top in the space. The good thing about Trezor that you can build Shamir secret multi-sig wallet inside. It's very technical, but this is something that Ledger doesn't support yet. Ledger is a bit cheaper, more accessible, and they have a really, really good software that's called Ledger Live to operate. They both interacting with MetaMask and other popular hot wallets. So it doesn't really matter. I personally prefer Ledger, but it doesn't really matter.
Okay, great.
So curious. Well, first of all, this was one of the reasons you already mentioned. You're one of the main differentiators is that you're storing 90 to 98% in cold storage, which I do believe is huge. That was a main factor of why we chose to work with you guys. But it's been about 6 months since we started talking. I guess primarily about the bridge, maybe even longer than that. Might have started talking to you guys in January, but we introduced you guys to Cardano, to IOHK. Not like you didn't know who they were or whatever, but we started facilitating that interaction. And I'm just curious overall, what's your impression of, and this might be good for Atan as well, or both of you guys, what's your impression of Cardano and having worked with them, the chain overall?
Well, I mean, they're, I mean, before working with them, I was just having their general reputation. So basically, like the general gist in the, in the general community is like, hundreds of PhDs taking like a decade to deliver a Turing complete blockchain. So it's like there was that, but I never had any first-hand experience. And then starting to work with it, I tell you the truth, most of the stuff there looks bizarre to me, which kind of correlates with the fact that like hundreds of PhDs working on it. So I don't know. I mean, they have a very, very cult-like community, so I guess that's a thing that's very hard to replicate. I mean, on the more technical side, it's like it's more like Bitcoin than Ethereum, kind of like their smart contract functionalities, which on Ethereum are so evolved, so accessible to developers. On Cardano, we were even afraid to touch it because even the smart contract language was just initiated like a year ago or stuff like that. So like the entire, it's like Turing completeness, kind of fully programmable money, etc. It's still in its infancy. So like a lot of the regular security mechanisms that we can use smart contracts for, we just don't have them on Cardano. This is why it was our first like apprehension of going in there. But then again, this is kind of like a space where you can't afford to just sit and wait forever. And I mean the strength of the Cardano community and the zeal of a lot of users to go in there has prompted us to go ahead and facilitate. But we are in a sort of race to, like, we're the first ones basically to build a robust bridge. I mean, Cardano themselves tried to build a bridge and they just, they let it go. I mean, it was hacked. It wasn't. It's really a tough business to run a bridge. So we're now working with their bridges group. Like they have a work group and it's all like community driven. I mean, Cardano itself is like very community driven, which usually means slow, a bit messy progress, not really coherent. And this is probably why they also couldn't facilitate their own kind of working bridge, and everything they do is like taking a lot of time, but it's also a robust structure. So like, I'm hoping that things will mature. We are meeting there some very serious people. It was really, for example, it was very hard for us to find people that could even audit the code of Cardano. Like we went to top auditors. They ended up giving us like extra 7 weeks of their time because we could find things that they couldn't, and they were like top auditors like CERTIC. So it's like the audit ended up being like 12 weeks when we were just like paid for 5. So everyone's kind of eager to work with it, but it's still a work in progress kind of thing. So yeah, but I mean,
did you end up getting audited by CERTIC? Is that right?
CERTIC, yeah, they're called CERTIC.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, CERTIC is like a giant auditing firm, and they're like, we got a lot of auditors that just said, oh, I don't know, we don't know how to audit them. Like a lot of them. CERTIC did have some experience, And now we're working with more like community inside Cardano to try and go deeper. And through their feedback, we're getting some kind of better intuition of how to make the bridge infrastructure more robust. So we are kind of working as they develop their stuff to kind of integrate it. We are working to integrate, for example, multi-party computation. So like the minters are behind multi-party computations, which is kind of having a multi-sig without requiring them to enable contracts to do that. So it's been an interesting ride, but yeah, we do have to consider that it's kind of a bleeding edge blockchain. But for sure, it's interesting adventure.
Okay, Erez, any thoughts from you on Cardano?
No, they're a great team, very professional, working for many years. You can see that. So it was good to work with them. Cardano has a very good reputation. They are the biggest non-EVM blockchain in the world, the fourth biggest blockchain in the space. So they've earned it for something, and we are very happy. And we want to thank you again for for this intro. It was a very successful one, and I think we have a long way to go now with that. We already have a few more projects want to port to Cardano, and we're even thinking about introducing the first stable token on Cardano. So it looks like we have a pretty extensive roadmap for the next few months with Cardano for us.
I think what I can say is going really good for them is, as a community, they're very inclusive. The moment we started getting in touch with them, they're immediately inviting us to the Bridges group. They're eager to kind of get the community involved. So I guess in the long run, that's a really good factor, of success. So yeah, that's admirable.
That's great. Out of curiosity, what's it been like working with the EU TXO model? Are you that's significantly different than what you've been working with in the past, right? I think we're doing one transaction per block for a reason. Was that advised by Cardano? What do you think of the EU TXO? All of that stuff.
Well, so yeah, the UTXO model is eventually. This is why I said it's kind of a Bitcoin with some sugaring on top, because they basically took Bitcoin and tried to say, okay, we're going to keep this model and somehow expand it. So, I mean, it allows a lot of interesting kind of flexibility in the way you construct transactions, because you can have multiple inputs and multiple outputs from different wallets, from different users to different wallets to different users, different tokens. But all that kind of composability on the atomic transaction level also introduces a lot of risk of just accounting malfunction, The most important thing for a bridge is just to maintain the sanity of accounting. So the most basic. So for us, this is why our first version was very, very vanilla. Only from one address. Only from one, only from one UTXO. Actually we could take multiple UTXOs kind of that you have so if you have multiple UTXOs on that address that add up to some big copy, you can use them. That's fine already. But it always go to just one UTXO, and when you send, and then the porting back flow from Cardano requires you to kind of gather whatever you have and put it in a single UTXO in our burn address, and then we count just that one UTXO. So in a lot of places, there's a lot of redundancy, and you really need to be very carefully to just select one of them. So this is why also originally we're doing the porting very slowly, one per block. But right now we're working on, and this is actually an advice that came from Cardano team, to basically pre-generate UTXOs on our end, and then assign each one to a port in advance. And this way you can kind of parallelize it. But like everything, okay, we're now having this and trying it out in a staging environment, but this will require this is not a change we can introduce without a further audit cycle, etc. So that part we're going to bring more slowly in. So these limits should be lifted eventually. So yeah, it's a really interesting framework. So I also for us, it's a very exciting kind of thing, because everyone's very used to EVMs. And Cardano is this thing where you're looking and it's like a seed that has a lot of potential, and you're just saying, oh, we could do so many things with it. And then, of course, the question is, what will the community decide to do? Because it's really community driven. It's like a double-edged sword. They can take it either way, and you need like a kind of a consensus to go somewhere. So it's interesting. It's an interesting kind of social, financial experiment.
I like the way you're building it. Obviously, building it in serial mode to begin with, one by one. I mean, I ported some Copy yesterday, and it took me 2 minutes, which was absolutely amazing.
Let's talk about that real quick, because that's a big point. You had mentioned there's been other bridges in the space. I think Cardano was impressed with what you guys have done in terms of throughput or transaction speed, Erez?
Yeah.
Well, like it's like when we just went live, we were doing it in kind of we blocked it ourselves. We created our own queues just because we needed to test some things that it was very hard for us to simulate in our test environments. And actually that got us to kind of catch some bugs. But like ever since that first day when there was like a clog, even now with the very serial mode, most of the time there's no queue. And when there's no queue, it's like 1 minute and 2 minutes, like end to end.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But there's a lot of security mechanisms inside the bridge. So, for example, if one of them, if in the serial fed there's one kind of failure that the system doesn't really understand, then it may choose to kind of just halt everything for a second and not process, and then there can be a queue. Sometimes there's some error and it says, okay, I don't know, let's skip it, but let's continue. So that person may experience a delay. So we're still kind of, we're still in like vanilla or no mode. So like if it goes well, it goes well. If there's some doubt, we just stop and look at it manually.
Which is what you want. You either 100% secure or the transaction just doesn't go through, which is and for a first release, what you've done so far is incredible. When you build on and you can then do in parallel and you can have multiple blocks. I mean, it can only get better and better, but I mean, out the blocks.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I think once we secure our minter behind the multi-party computation, that actually gives us multi-sig security behind a programmable minter, which can go by itself. It doesn't need like someone manual to mint it. Combining with the preemptive UTXO assignment, which is also cardinal per port, you're actually getting also more security against double minting, because no more than one UTXO can ever be assigned because they're already pre-assigned per port. So yeah, it's nice. And I can tell you some stats. There's currently like 118.37 million copy on Cardano, and 88 million of those were minted since the launch, which just like 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
88 million.
88 million, and there were like, in terms of number of ports, there were like until now there were 57 ports back from Cardano to EVM, and then almost 1,000, like 928 ports from EVM to Cardano. So these are the numbers so far. This is the number of copies so far, and I mean, I guess for first time bridging to Cardano in general, kind of like the first ones on production, in general in Cardano, I think that's good results. But again, we have a very, very long to-do list that we're trying our best to kind of build ASAP, especially because if we want to do the stables, we need to be a bit more robust. But yeah.
So, Erez, what's your thoughts on? Did you get any feedback from Cardano on how it's went so far, or what their impression is?
Yeah, I think they are very happy. We also had some
mutual.
We had some mutual marketing and PR around the event, and I think it looks like they're very happy. Eventually, when you're working with partners, especially in crypto space, the majority of the work and things they've done is only after you deliver it, not before. Because there are so many promises in crypto. People, they don't like promises. They don't want to see like execution. So execute it and then talk to me. So once they saw they saw it's live and it's working, then they start like speeding up. Okay, now let's do things with it. Now let's like send more tokens. Now let's maybe introduce tables. So now it's only like 3 or 4 days. So we just started, but the collaboration is very good, for sure.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And what's your impression of Cornucopias since working? You've seen what our community's done. Like, what are your thoughts of where we're at?
So there is 2 ways to look at it. Okay, I can look at the numbers, and then I can look at the community. Okay, so we are in touch with, I think, more than 700 projects in the space. Like we have a pretty big business department, and we are talking with projects all the time.
Wow.
When it was a bull market, it was like 10 to 20 projects a day. Now it's less. Now it's like 2 to 5. But still, we are talking with many projects all the time. Right now, 99% of them, they just don't launching the tokens because of the market situation.
Sure.
And projects, tokens, like any other startups, eventually about 95%, eventually they fail, they disappear. So we also try to give more time and more energy and more of us into the good project. So it takes time to build those relationships. And we also have another project. It's called Tokens Farm, which is a farm as a service. So Cornucopias, you're having a farm with us, and you're using the bridge. And when we build this relationship, I saw the metrics, and the metrics were amazing. Right now, for example, on Tokens Farm, your staking farm has the lowest APY from all the staking farms that we have, and this is a
What does that mean?
It's about 2%, is it?
What does that mean for anybody that's because some people might look at that as a bad thing.
Yeah, that means the strength of the community. That means the people trust the project and they trust the token so much, they're willing to get, in your case, only less than 2% a year to stake the tokens, to lock them, to lock them for like 2 months.
It's like when you have garbage bonds, like garbage bonds, they're always the one with the highest rates. But the strongest states, nations, strongest organizations, they can issue bonds very low interest and people still buy them. So that's a low APY is the show of strength of the token and the community.
That APY is generated automatically, isn't it? We don't set it at that rate.
Yeah, it's automatic. It goes up and down when users are joining and leaving the farm.
Demand.
Yeah.
The more users joining, the less each of them is getting from the total rewards budget.
Correct.
And when they're willing to continue and join, even though the APY goes down, that means that they really trust the token. They're willing their token to be staked for a long time and not kind of buy it. And still they're saying, oh yeah, that 2% is perfect for me. I mean, because it's going to keep its dollar value and it's an extra for me. And so this is like a show of confidence.
So it's the APY, it's the number of transactions, and it's the number of addresses. And this is something we see on Chainport. The number of unique addresses, both in Cardano, both in BNB, is enormous. It's like thousands, which is another big signal. So we are, like I said, we are working with hundreds of projects. We have more than 100 tokens using Chainport and about 130 farms we launched on Tokens Farm to date. But for sure, I would say that copies, I would put it in the top 10% from all the projects we're working with. So keep up the good work. That's a very good, very strong signal.
I want to also emphasize something about the numbers, because the crypto community, especially in bear markets, it's not big at all. It makes a lot of noise, but when you come down to the number of active users per project, essentially, it's not a big number. There are players with big funds, but there's not enormous numbers of players. And having since and this was on and off, so ever since it was actually on 2 days ago, more or less, in 48 hours, to have 88 million copy, moved to Cardano with almost 1,000 singular ports. This is 1,000 actual users in 2 days coming, and we're seeing it's around the clock, because crypto never sleeps. So checking the database, it's every couple of minutes, sometimes every minute, there's people coming. So it is a show of a very healthy and vibrant community. One thing, by the way, I would like to ask, because we couldn't really answer it ourselves, is what are your users looking for in Cardano? That was something that would probably interest me personally, and I know some guys on our team kind of.
what are our users looking for in Cardano?
Yeah, because we see a lot of interest in your users to move to Cardano. So, yeah, it was interesting for us to understand why they want to move to Cardano.
Why they want to move? Why they want to move the coin?
I think basically it boils down to the fact that so we launched on BSC, or I guess it's BNB chain now. They rebranded, but we launched our first token on BSC because the infrastructure for protecting the token was not there on Cardano at that time. So Cardano is so early stage. So that's why we launched on BSC. But our community, our people, our influencers, where we started foundationally, the chain is always going to had been planned for it to be Cardano. We would eventually get a Cardano native token made, which we've done through you guys. So I think the community is just naturally probably 90% Cardano people. And this is also a tribute to the Cardano community, really, because the people that get involved, well, you guys know maximalism. That's the nature of crypto. But one thing that Charles Hoskinson has done incredibly well, and the team at IOG is communicating on a regular basis with the community on what's going on and really informing and educating. He's built a community where the people really dig in and try to learn and understand what's happening and why is this slow, methodical, extremely slow approach. Why is that a better way to do it with a bleeding edge technology like Cardano is? So I think it's a tribute to the Cardano community as a whole, but also just because a lot of our community just wanted to bring their tokens home, kind of thing. That's basically what it is. They wanted to be here on Cardano, and that's where most of their interactions are. So they're probably, some of them, interacting with NFT trading platforms, and they want to be able to move tokens around easier within the ecosystem that they're currently working.
I just want to say, before we ending, so we are, as a company, and all our products, we try to be very user centric and user focused. So in all our products, we have a chat support. So I'm asking everyone that using the bridge or the farm, if you encounter any problem, if you have any question, if there's anything unclear, please let us know. We're trying to improve ourselves all the time. We're trying to get better. So we have a direct communication channel. Please use it. We are trying to be responsive as fast as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. We should probably apologize that we're still not at a place where we can finance 24/7 support, but we do try as fast as we can to resolve any issue. But I am happy to say that in general, kind of over 99% of the ports are just going through fine with no issue. And those that are not, then we need to take a look at them manually, and we do it as fast as we can.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. And we will include links to what you guys are doing. We can include the links to Decentralab, Chainport, Tokens Farm. We'll include that in the bio or description here for the YouTube video. So go check out what these guys are doing. They're definitely here to stay and building things in the right way. We're very impressed by working with you guys for it's over a year now, because we started initially with Tokens Farm as well. So yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to meet with us, and guys, enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having us. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thanks. You, likewise.
I wish you a very good, successful journey ahead. You've been doing also very good work. You've been very good design partners for us for this move to Cardano, and I think a lot of our move to Cardano is we owe it to you guys. For you pushing it, you needing it, you believing in it, you bringing the community that wants it and connecting us to it. So very good work on that, and I hope this also means a lot of good stuff for Cardano. So
thank you. Seriously, we're so glad to be working with you guys, and I think you're going to be very happy with your decision to really work on a Cardano bridge. It's gonna help a lot of people. We'll definitely be sending some teams your way. Yeah.
I'd say the bridge is not just Copi token; it's other Cardano native tokens as well. So I mean, it's real infrastructure that we're bringing here.
Yeah, one final thing. Sorry, I know we just kind of said some goodbyes there, but one final thing is that we're excited about is how can we start reaching out to some other communities that are on other, so like ETH projects that may want to get onto the Cardano community. A big reason that we're all about interoperability and bridges is because this gives us access to other communities. And so that fits really well with our strategy overall as a game, is to grow out to other chains and bring people in that are interested in what we're doing. And so we're going to start talking to some other projects and see if they're interested. And so we'll send them your way when we do, without a doubt.
We didn't even told all the 100 plus tokens on Chainport that we support Cardano yet. We wanted to have at least 1 week that it's like smooth, everything works fine, and then next week to tell them, hey guys, now we support Cardano. So I believe some of them will like to move to Cardano as well.
That's awesome. Well, Congrats and best of luck to you guys with the rest of that, and we'll see you guys soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Well, all right. That was great to have the Chainport team up. The bridge and the work that they did was so solid. So thank you guys for joining the show. Everyone, please feel free to check out the links below. Tokens Farm, Decentralab, Chainport, lots of good stuff. And I guess it's now brings us to our leak for the week, which is NFT related. Christmas sale. I guess I'll bring it up. We're not gonna announce every element of the Christmas NFT sale. We're doing a small sale, nothing huge.
That's
going to be several items involved in the sale, but this one here,
Christmas sale confirmed.
This is my tree. This is a Joshua tree.
Yeah, so I've had a phone call from a Mr. Bono.
Oh, Bono called you?
Yeah.
Okay. What did Bono say?
About this Joshua tree.
That's great. I'm glad you're in touch with him. I think we should probably have him on the show. You think he'd be interested?
I'll try and get him on next week.
Might get him some exposure.
Yeah.
Anyway, this will be the test tree, most likely. And it's very exciting. For some reason, there we go. Finally got it to switch over. It's a good looking tree. Beautiful. Look at that detail. Fun stuff. Yeah. Oh, and one final element to the leak is just I don't know what that is.
Public line. Yeah, I mean, I know what it is. Public transport coming into a public line. So it feels there's a story there somewhere.
Yeah, who knows what the story is. Anyway, there is a Christmas sale coming up, and it's not going to be enormous. Don't everybody freak out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. Some bling items in that sale, I believe. I'm not going to announce too much more. Well, maybe we should. Should we announce the items we're considering right now?
There's going to be two categories.
One category is racing, and the other category is the Metaverse. Outdoors.
Yeah. Outdoor Metaverse.
Yeah. So, we'll give you more details on those next week. Let's do that. All right, guys, that's our leak for the week. Thank you for joining COPICafe episode 30. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We tried to keep it short. We did a decent job.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
All right. Have a good week.
See you later.